Okay, so I just wanted to jump on here real quick before entering our pleasure diet session. And today's going to be about the archetype of the queen. And the queen invites us into this state of surrendered leadership, where instead of trying to manipulate and change something, it's more like a redirection. It's accepting and seeing and honoring what is, and from there creating. So you can think of a leader that looks at her subjects and sees what qualities they have and what they have to offer, and from there gives tasks. So this is from an accepting and understanding that there is a unique essence to every being, and wanting to cultivate that and bring the most out of someone, as opposed to thinking of which tasks need to be done and having anyone do that and not caring really about how that person flourishes. So this to me also is the archetype of balancing the masculine and feminine sides. So I had this other video about the core, the shield that can be around that. And the queen archetype is balanced when instead of a shield, it's this serving. For example, having a feminine essence, a feminine core, and then using the masculine part or energies to serve the feminine, to support, where it's like an inner union instead of a battle where there's suppression or fighting of who we are in the core. And from this place of harmony, the queen arises. And you can feel, even though she may be assertive, even though she may be in a leadership role, you feel her feminine essence radiating through. Yeah, so this is where we come into contact with our creative force, with our potential, with what wants to come out of us. And in our personal leadership as well, we nurture and nourish what is inside and wants to come out instead of trying to change or trying to think of what needs to be done. So if a task doesn't suit the queen, she can delegate that. And for a more modern day analogy, it might be choosing not to do everything inside of your business, but choosing to give the paperwork to someone else and to stay upon your throne where you oversee what needs to be done. So there is a great responsibility here where there is the delegating of tasks, instead of bypassing that some tasks that just are not suited for you. So it's actually highly responsible to have someone else do certain work for you. So it's taking the responsibility, not just shoving this onto someone else, but from that place delegating. There's also an acknowledgement of the inner wounds, seeing what parts of us were hurt and feeling into that, and from there creating. So I really love this analogy where you think of the gems upon her crown as the hurt that has been in her life, and we transform it from this archetype. We transform pain and wounds into a crown. So these wounds contribute, for example, to compassion. If you think of the way a diamond is formed, through this friction. So this is another analogy of the queendom, like the queen coming into her power from having been through the underworld battles and coming into power. It really centers us in our life to create what we want to create. So instead of complaining about what others are doing wrong, the things that are not working out the way we want to, or about society, we start to look at it and think, what can we do from here? What now? You can think of, yeah, this fertile land, this yeah, it's like within all the subparts that we have. So we might have the wild woman inside, the child, all these parts benefit from the queen being in benevolent command. So our being can really rest when this is balanced. When we know that that leadership is there, the other parts of our being know where we're going, what to focus on. So this is also very much about discernment. And this feels to me like the balanced state um, from our solar plexus and our heart. It's when these two parts, which are also the masculine and the feminine chakras, come into balance, come into union. So I hope this benefited you somehow. Thank you for being here, for listening. Feel very free to comment or to ask any questions. If you want to stay in touch, I'm SoulSeductress across all platforms. And if you want to check out the pleasure diet, you can find that on my website.